FM, Fallon, Reno, Sparks, Fernley, 101.3 Renegade Radio.
The following is an America Matters media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Mustang Sally. Guess you better slow your Mustang down. Oh, Lord.
Hello and welcome to Mustang Matters. This show is created for the wild horses and is hosted by country music singer-songwriter Lacey J. Dalton. You're welcome to come to the Reno Town Mall and be a part of the live studio audience. Should you choose to do so, we'd love to meet you. The show airs every Wednesday and is made possible by the generous support of Rogers Cowboy Supply on Audie Boulevard in Sparks, Ranchers Feed and Supply, East Surge Street in Reno, James Clark Hay and Livestock, North Virginia Street in Reno, One Stop Ranch and Feed on Glendale Avenue in Sparks, Wynema Ranch, Wild Horse Sanctuary, and Let 'em Run. All organizations referred to during this show are all 501c3 nonprofit organizations who have partnered with local government, businesses, and the community, and all share the same common commitment, the protection and preservation of our wild horses who are living symbols of the American West. Ladies and gentlemen, Lacey J. Dalton.
Good morning, Dee, and how are we this morning?
I'm doing okay.
Are we doing okay? I do want to thank, we happen to have the fabulous Eddie Floyd is on the show with us this morning from America Matters, the star of America Matters, and we want to thank Eddie and America Matters for our show here on the station. We are thrilled.
Well, thank you very much, Lacey J. Dalton. Listeners, there's three ways to get involved today with Mustang Matters. Lacey J. Dalton, Broadcast Hall of Fame, Dee Gregory, and here they are. You can join us. We're at the Reno Town Mall. Look, we have a film crew going on today. I forgot to do my hair, okay? but that's right. I can't.
Let's not talk about hair. Let's not talk about hair
As
today.
a matter of fact, Dee, I was... what, bad hair day? What's going on over there?
You have to picture this. You have to picture. I got to paint the picture.
They don't have to because it's being filmed.
As much as perhaps some of it is too much information. 5 o'clock this morning, that horse that you call a dog, Carl, the star of the upcoming Christmas video, and prompted the song.
Are we speaking of Carl the dog?
Yes. I'm trying to get ready. I have an early morning engagement, and I have to take off. And Carl comes in, decides to help me try to comb my hair. Now, here's the picture. I'm standing in front of the mirror, trying to brush my teeth, shave all at the same time. Before it was over with, I had 1 foot in the shower. Carl had 1 foot in the toilet. I had squeezed the toothpaste all over the mirror. I couldn't find my comb, and I had to prompt him with a treat just to get my underwear back. So, yeah, that's where we are this morning.
Well, I have to say, Carl is just a puppy in a very large body.
A puppy.
He spent his entire first year of life in the pound in Burbank, and the people of the pound were so upset that he was going to be put down later in the week that they raised $600, and they still couldn't get anybody to adopt him. So my friend Gina Stevenson, who helps me with the Wild Horse Fair, called me up and said, Lacey, there's this dog, and he's only a year old, and everybody at the pound loves him, and everybody at the pound already has 5 dogs at home, and we need somebody to foster this dog. Will you foster this dog? And I thought, oh, dear. a large pit bull mix who has never ever been in anybody's house before. I just can't wait, because your Carl is about, well, then he was probably about 80 pounds. Now he's almost 100, I think. But anyway,
Yes.
I said yes, and it was a good thing. That morning, Gina called me a couple days later and said, he's got 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Wow.
I said, send him up.
Wow.
So
And
that
as we
is
know,
that is how we got Carl the dog. His first experience in being a house dog.
And as he rears up on his hind legs, his front paws are over my shoulder. He's 6 feet tall when he's on his back hind legs.
He's really a
And he
large,
just doesn't do a very good job of combing hair, so
He's
I
a force
apologize.
of nature. He just is. He's
I
a
thought
force
you said
of
he
nature.
was licking your hair this morning.
He did everything you can think of, and believe me, I had the flashbacks of 2.5 minutes because he was down to about 30 seconds this morning.
All right, listeners, let me tell you 2 other ways you can get involved with Lacey J. Dalton, Broadcast Hall of Fame, D. Gregory. That is, you can also text in questions or comments. That text number is 775-384-4444, or call us. We have a brand new number, toll-free from anywhere in the world now. It is 844-790-8255. On set with Lacey J. Dalton today, we have Wes McWethy from Fallon. We'll talk about a very kind donation from Wes. We also have Kelly Rush, the editor of Mustang Matters, the publication. Shari Floyd from the Wainema Ranch, boots on the ground. And, of course, now back to D. Gregory.
Hey, thank you, Eddie, and we're going to go to you for this other presentation. Real quick, we would like to thank Ann in Carson City. This last week, after hearing the show last week, she called in, and we're going to give that phone number again. She called in, she picked up 3 Let 'em Run t-shirts, which obviously go to help the wild horses, as we say every week, want folks to know. And she wrote the check for even a larger amount of money. So there were, put it this way, several $100s that were donated to Let 'em Run, to help the horses, to help feed them as we do need hay. And Ann and Carson say we just want to take a moment and thank you. One of the Dalton girls made a face-to-face delivery, drove down to Carson to deliver
my
these
word.
to her.
Was
So
it Emmeline or was
It
it
was,
Jean?
yes. Yeah,
You know,
Emmeline did that.
Emmeline and Jean, they are a force, a real force for helping the wild horses. They have taken it upon themselves to have some beautiful T-shirts and bumper stickers and fabulous caps and stickers for the sides of your car. Of which they have given me 2 of these stickers. Both of them
Magnets.
have disappeared.
Yeah, the magnets.
The magnets, car magnets.
Each
and
time
they're
you
really,
get the car wash, you pull it off, and then it's not there when you. Maybe the car wash is eating them.
No, I
No, people
actually
are
the
taking
last time I put it in my car when I washed the car. Do you think I can find that thing? I noticed the other day that Emmeline must have taken pity on me once again, because there's a tiny little "Let 'em run" magnet.
There's
on the,
a bit-
on the,
have
I
you-
think
Two
they've
different
given up.
sizes.
They've given up on me on the big
Have
one.
you looked lately at the inside of your car? There's a chance there's a Volvo in there. So don't expect to
kids.
find a
Busted.
magnet.
Busted.
Don't expect to find a magnet. Anyway, good.
Well, you know, you're absolutely right. I do need to go through it. I think I may have. I may be eligible for that show on TV.
It's like Carl may have
Buried
lived
alive.
Carl may have lived in that car for a while. I don't know.
You know, Carl is what he is. I'm really looking forward to our Christmas shows, because I may actually, since we wrote Carl the Christmas dog about Carl's escapades at Christmas, we may actually have his first appearance. Carl is supposed to have his own Facebook page soon.
Yeah.
So
he's
we'll see.
going to. The stage is set. You're the final authority. He's supposed to make an appearance in Lovelock.
Wow.
At the
Okay.
Christmas show. You're
All right.
final authority on that. They've approved it. So.
Okay, and he can stay in my room. Do they have any idea?
Oh,
what the-
definitely your room.
Yeah.
He ain't staying with me. Yes, ma'am. You are correct.
He's getting so much
So,
better. He'll
yes.
never be well. Hey,
But-
we have someone on the phone for us.
May we just real quick, Palomino will be right with you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The donation here.
Oh, wow. Thank you
Eddie.
very much for that, D. Gregory. Remember, listeners, get involved. This is Mustang Matters. It's all about our American heritage, the wild horses, burros, and now Carl the dog. Now, I'm talking about a donation that was given, and what is so phenomenal is the donation will actually be housed at the Wainema Ranch. Wes McWethy, sitting right to your immediate right, Lacey J. Dalton. Wes McWethy, a retired United States veteran, Vietnam combat era, has donated donated a tractor, a large truck, so that all advocacy groups can utilize that truck to bring hay for their horses. And Joe Spotted Bear, Wes does not know this, Joe Spotted Bear is picking up the book at Department of Motor Vehicles, so he again can get his commercial license. So there you have it. We have a truck, we have a driver, and now what we'll get is a flatbed and, more importantly, some hay. Wes McWethy, that is so kind of you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Oh, it
Thank
is.
you.
All right. Good job, good job.
It's sitting in the backyard and was collecting dust and rust, and I just looked at the thing and I said, you know, I bought the silly thing to pull a 35 to 40 foot camper, you know, the fifth wheel camper.
Right.
And it would have been, you know, the truck wouldn't have even known that the camper was back there, you know.
Yeah, so big.
And with 10 speeds, I've never seen sixth gear. And I was doing 60 miles an hour down the highway in fifth, and I'm going, whoa, this thing could really roll.
Well, I'm passing your title on to the head honcho there at the Wainema Ranch, Shari Floyd. There you go. Wes McWethy, thank you for the very,
I can't
very
wait to drive this truck.
That's right.
She's going to be cruising down Virginia Street this week.
You better believe it. Okay, and
I'm glad Joe is going to be driving the truck because he's got the shoulders for it, you know, because it's Armstrong steering, you know.
No, Joe Spotted Bear, what a wonderful blessing he has been to all of us at Wainema Ranch, most particularly to Eddie and Shari out there. Doing a lot of heavy work. He's a great big Lakota Indian from Pine Ridge Reservation, and we are so happy to have him in the Wainema family. And Wes, thank you for providing him with wheels. You know, he'll probably be using that truck to go into town to date. You know,
I wouldn't recommend that because that thing has got some springs on it that are unbelievable. If you don't have a load on it, your teeth wind up. You know, you start losing your.
Have
your
you
fillings.
seen Joe?
Yeah, I've seen Joe. Of course, I know Joe. You know?
right.
No, he's a real nice guy. Really.
not a small fellow.
no.
Now we've got one of our regular contributors on the phone. I'm very happy to hear from Palomino Honey Bandit Armstrong. Palomino, welcome to the show.
Thank you. You may not be so happy to hear from me today. We had to put Maverick down.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is one of the. Was this a little
Maverick's a little
skinless one?
His mom was sent to slaughter, and he was born at the auction yard, and we took care of him for about a month. He had lost all his hair, and he was doing really well, improving, gaining his hair back, gaining weight, but there was so much damage done from the pneumonia he had from not having a warm place to stay that there was just no hope, and I told him we'd fight till the end, and the last day he was done, so we let him go.
I am so sorry to hear that. And Palomino, I know how hard you try to save each one of these orphaned babies that you rescue. He was a tough case. He had lost all his hair. I'm glad he had a nice warm place to be with you when he passed. I'm glad his tummy was full of milk, and I'm glad he had you there to love him. And I am very moved at the work that you're doing, and I'm crushed that we still do not have a trailer for you to go rescue more of these babies that we know are being horribly treated up in the state of Washington by those killer buyers. Their mothers are sold for meat as pregnant mares. The stress makes a lot of them have their babies there in the auction yard, and it is... We are told that the killer buyers are taking those babies out behind the barns and hitting them in the head with hammers and killing them. And I understand the Humane Association of the United States is now aware of this, and we are very happy to hear that they are on top of the situation.
And Palomino, you know, we know this, you know this. You can't save them all, but what you do makes a difference, and we can never thank you enough. The final days are sometimes the most memorable, and you were there. You were there all along. So please feel good about yourself and what you have done. All right?
Well, you know, there's actually a blessing coming out of this. We have a guy in Texas, and he called, and he is putting up $5,000, and he's going to match any donations made for the Rolling Full Hospital for the trailer we need until Friday at noon. So we are, and Matt and I took out a loan. We're just going to get it. We're not waiting anymore. We're going to get it, and he's going to go pick it up this weekend because I really think it might have helped Maverick, and it's going to be in his honor. And, you know, he was here, I guess, to raise awareness so people understand what's happening, and to make a difference somehow.
Yeah.
Can you give the folks how they could, if somebody can even give $10 online, anything at all, give them an address?
They can go to PayPal, palominodancer@yahoo.com, or our website, www.chilipepper.org. And every donation until Friday at noon is doubled. And
Okay.
like I said, Matt and I got alone. We're just going to make it happen. Because
All right.
I really feel like if we could have been there and given him the warm place from the get-go, that he might have had a chance. But at least, he's raised awareness of the slaughter, and he was just precious.
Well, and he's made a difference. He's got everyone's attention. Folks, if you wish to donate in any way, I encourage you to do that. You can go to let'emrun.com. Of course, go to the websites that Palomino mentioned, WineMaRanch.com. Click on the support or donate link, and from there you can use your MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover Card, PayPal. All of those are available to you. You can read about past rescues and ongoing rescues. Highly encourage you to go there. At least stop in and take a look. Lacey?
Palomino, our prayers are with you, and I'm going to ask the Great Spirit to fill your heart with the joy of the time that you had together with Maverick, and the blessing that his passing has provided you. And I don't know who the gentleman is in Texas, but may God bless him forever for doing this for you, because I know this has been a very, very hard time for you, having to pass up a lot of babies up there who are being horribly abused and who are dealing with unspeakable deaths. That this is a divine intervention, and I just have to believe that this situation is already healed right now. Anyway, thank you so much for calling in, Palomino, and you are so diligent about calling us every week. I hope someday you'll come in again and be able to be with us in real life. And we send you away with angels all around you, and we thank you so much for being on the show this morning, and we ask for comfort for your heart. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Wes, for the truck. Wow.
You're welcome. No worries.
Awesome. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, thank you, Palomino.
We have a guest who's sitting here. I have not been introduced to this lovely lady. Would you please tell us who you are, and welcome to our show this morning? And see Eddie Floyd writing notes frantically, but I don't have one in front of me. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Lacey. I'm Julie Kaufman. I'm a screenwriter way back in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Oh, Julie, we know of you, but this is the first time we've met you. Well, welcome to Nevada. Welcome to Reno. Welcome to our wild horse situation here, and thank you so much.
Well, thank you for inviting me here.
They tell me you're an angel. We need angels.
Well, I'm glad.
I can almost see the wings. So tell us what brings you to our town. We know a little bit about the project, but I'm sure our listeners, and we have a lot of first-time listeners today, we have a new broadcast signal that we are broadcasting out on, and so please tell our new listeners and our faithful listeners who are always with us what your project is all about and what it's going to do for our wild horses.
Well, my project is called Soraya's Legacy. It's about my horse, Soraya. We had rescued her from the slaughterhouses. We were afraid she was at the auctions getting ready to be shipped. So we decided that we needed to rescue her. So I wanted to kind of write her story into what's going on here with the wild Mustangs and the wild horses, because I felt that I needed to at least try to do something to not only for her, but for all the wild horses across the United States and all the slaughters, the horses that are facing slaughter.
I am so grateful that there are the awareness of the unspeakable cruelty of slaughter. It's not the same as it is for other animals. Wild horses, and any horse, is head shy. They have a very hard time. In Canada, they use a .22. The horses throw their heads around. They often miss. It takes many, many shots sometimes to kill these animals. In Mexico, the slaughter is so cruel. It is unspeakable. It is unspeakable. It is unimaginable.
Yeah, it gets me mad every time I even think about it. I just can't understand why they would do something like that to these.
It makes me so furious. Yeah. I really don't know how to contain it. It is absolutely an affront to Almighty God, and it really is. So tell us, I know that when Anna Sewell wrote the book Black Beauty, it changed the world. That book changed the world because it made people aware of the inhumanities that were happening way back then to the wild horses. Is that what your film? What are you going to call your film, and how are you going to get it out into the world? Because for some reason, we advocates have not done a good job of telling everybody out there. Ordinary people do not realize the horrific things that are going on with these wild horses. So how will your film be able to help that, do you think?
Well, like you, hardly anybody understands or knows about what's going on with these wild horses and the horses that come from the slaughters. I never knew it. So I decided to write a screenplay called Surprise Legacy, and I wanted to do it in an environment where the wild Mustangs are. And I've met Jim Goddard, who I asked if he would do my screenplay for me and produce and direct it, and that's what's happening right now.
Well, we were fortunate enough to have Jim on the panel a week ago, and it was really great to have him as a guest, and I hope he'll come back. And you are both welcome, most welcome, anytime you have time to come, and I am so happy that you came today.
Well, thank
because
you.
These are the kinds of things, I think sometimes just a news story isn't going to do it. It's going to take a story that people can get involved with a character like Anna Sewell's Black Beauty, tell the story of that animal's life and death. And I think it's important, the work that you're doing, and I hope that you have fabulous distribution. Is it going to be a big screen movie? Is it a documentary movie? How will it be?
It's not going to be a documentary. It's going to be an actual story.
That's helpful.
It's about a girl's love for her horse, Soraya, that she felt that she needed to do something because up until Soraya came into her life, she didn't understand what was happening. So she wanted to be their voice, her voice, which would, be their voice as well. She's determined to make a difference.
And what is your character's name?
The main character is called Emily.
Emily.
Played by Allison Powell.
Well, we will be very, very excited to see this film. I'm very excited that you're here filming. I know you've been out to Stagecoach, and I know you've got Harold Roy Miller, one of our favorite cowboy poets, involved in the film. You probably ran into Willis Lamb and Betty Retzer and all those good folks in Stagecoach. And I know you've been out at Wainema Ranch with the gang out there, with Shari and Eddie and Emmeline and Jean, and Wes has been out there a lot, and of course, Joe Spotted Bear.
They filmed Joe Spotted Bear. He has a part in there.
I am so happy because he is a very filmable guy. Joe is a blessing. Joe's an angel sent our way, and we're so happy that he's here all the way from Pine Ridge, South Dakota, from that reservation, which, by the way, is the poorest Indian reservation in the country. And the conditions in Pine Ridge are appalling. The folks there in the winter, in these very hard winters, the old people, a lot of times don't have money for fuel. It's a tough place, Pine Ridge Reservation.
Right.
So Joe's probably happy to be here, and we couldn't be happier to have him.
Yep, he's our Sam.
He's your Sam?
Yes, he is.
Right. Are you playing in your own movie, Joel?
No, I'm not. I'm just watching and observing the marvelous producer and director. In fact, Jim Goddard is here right now, along with Tom Donaldson.
Well, I hope that we'll have Jim come on the panel here. We do have time, Jim, for you. If you want to step on the panel in a few moments, it'd be great.
Is this one stop in several locations for the movie, or is it going to all be filmed in Northern Nevada?
There's a couple different locations. Of course, in Wainema Ranch is going to be one. Stagecoach is another location. And a little bit of Virginia City as well.
Ooh la la.
Once it's ready to be viewed, we'd be happy to put that out on the show where folks can watch it.
Yeah, what we shot were just several scenes.
Jim Goddard.
Sorry, Jim Goddard here. Coming to you live from Reno, Nevada.
Yes, and you know what? Our listeners, our new listeners, do not know that you are the producer and director of this movie. So welcome to the panel, and
Thank you very much.
And rave on, McDuff.
Well, now what we shot just several scenes, and so the several scenes that we happened to shoot were around Stagecoach and Wainema. The full screenplay, the whole movie takes place in several locations. So some city shots and, a lot more interior shots, exterior shots. So it's a whole, world that we can be shooting in. We like to keep it, a little local as best we can, in California, Nevada, and all that.
Folks, will there be a call to action at the end of the film? Like, if you want to donate, please donate to, say, Wainema Ranch or whatever. Will there be that? I wondered why that doesn't happen with feature films.
Because the dirty bottom line is that feature films are made to make money. And something I just didn't realize until recently when I'm studying a lot about Orson Welles and his... Let me go back a step. Studio owners and producers and financiers never thought of movie making as an art. They only thought of it as a way to make money. And Orson Welles was different, and he was considered a maverick because he looked at film as an art. And through that art, if there's a message, well, then let that happen. If we're doing a documentary, we'll put, donate to Wainema Ranch and all that kind of thing. We're hoping that this will be a product that will be entertaining, that will be an art, that will stimulate people on their own to give and all that kind of thing, and to help.
That is what happened with Anna Sewell's book, Black Beauty. It really didn't have a call to action, but it was in and of itself a call to action.
Yes.
It moved people's hearts, and it got their attention. And we as advocates have been sorely, sorely lacking in getting this message out in a way that doesn't offend people and mortify people. I know sometimes I have to, when some of the ads come on for SPCA or Humane on the television, they are so, it's the truth. They're totally compelling, and yet I can hardly bear to watch them. And I know a lot of my friends say, I just turn the channel because I can't stand to see the suffering. We have to find a way to make people aware of how extraordinary the suffering is of these animals. It's extraordinary. The suffering is unimaginable.
Sure. I was driving on my way, driving the slow route through to the country to New York last summer, and was out through Arizona, and I saw wild horses that did not have the benefits of like a Wainema Ranch to feed and care for. But horses are out there who you can see their bones sticking out. And particularly out here in the West where it's so dry and they've got to forage. But, when I was in Kentucky and Tennessee and all that, and there's green grass everywhere. And so there's a different world. So I would like, one of my personal goals is to help stimulate those good folks on that side of the Mississippi to help us out here. Hay, grain, grass, something. But at the same time, as we're making an entertainment story, we also want to be able to stimulate others to call to action, like you say.
Well, I am so pleased to have you both as guests on Mustang Matters, and may I extend that invitation for any time that you happen to be here from Virginia in filming, any time that you're around, Jim, and want to speak to us and tell us about the progress of your film, and we will be more than happy to promote that in any way we can. Thank you so very,
you've been
very
wonderful.
much.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, we're about to wrap up this first half hour. Don't forget, Stand Up for Horses, a benefit for the wild horses, to be held Saturday, May 30th at the Reno Airport Plaza Best Western Hotel. It's starring Cat Simmons, and you can get your tickets by going to standupforhorses.com. Also, a Wild Horse Fine Arts Show will be July 24th, 25th, and 26th at San Rafael Park in downtown Reno. Due to our contractual agreement with our affiliates, we must say goodbye to some of our listeners, but those others choosing to stick around will be back till the top of the hour. I want to thank everyone who be a part of this. We're going to come back to Gina Stevenson right after this upcoming break. On behalf of Lacey J. Dalton, thank you to everyone who was part of today's show, and remember that we'll never, ever take you for granted. Keep it simple and keep them wild. We'll talk to you again next Wednesday.
On behalf of Lacey J. Dalton, the Let 'em Run Foundation, and Wainema Ranch Wild Horse Sanctuary, we want to pay special tribute to One Stop Ranch and Feed, located right there on Glendale Avenue. Their address is 760 Glendale Avenue in Sparks. Their phone number is 775-284-0377. Again, it's 775-284-0377 for for all of your feed and ranch needs. Say hi to Hector, say hi to Sarah, and also thank them for supporting Mustang Matters, our American heritage, the wild horses and burros. Remember, if you'd like to check them out, go to One Stop Ranch and Feed right there at 760 Glendale Avenue in Sparks. One Foundation, on behalf of everybody at Mustang Matters, the international talk show all about our American heritage, the wild horses and burros. We want to thank Bob, his wife, and his daughter out there at Ranchers Feed and Supply. They are located at 60 East Surge Street in Lemon Valley. That's Ranchers Feed and Supply. You're going to want to give them a call and see if they have what you're looking for in the way of feed or other ranch supplies. Their phone number is 775-972-7200. Again, 775-972-7200. That is Ranchers Feed and Supply in Lemon Valley.
Mustang Sally. Guess you better slow your Mustang down. Oh, Lord.
Hello and welcome to Mustang Matters. My name is Dee Gregory. This show was created for the wild horses and is hosted by country music singer-songwriter Lacey J. Dalton, with several in-studio guests. We'll get to them in just a moment. We have one caller holding on the line. We're going to get to Gina in just a moment. Everyone listening is welcome to come to the Reno Town Mall and be a part of our live studio audience that we have here today. If you choose to, we'd love to meet you. The show airs every Wednesday and is made possible by the generous support of Wainema Ranch Wild Horse Sanctuary, of course, Let'emRun.com, One Stop Ranch and Feed in Sparks in Reno, James Clark Hay Livestock and Ranchers Feed and Supply. Also on Audi Boulevard in Sparks, Rogers Cowboy Supply. All organizations referred to during this show are 501c3 nonprofit organizations who have partnered with local government, businesses, and the community who all share the same commitment: the protection and preservation of our wild horses who are living symbols of the American West. In a moment, we're going to go to Lacey J. Dalton, but first to Gina, who's been holding for over 6 minutes. Gina, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dee. Thanks. Thanks for giving me a few minutes to talk about a great, exciting event that we have coming up. And this is Let 'em Run with Rotary. And it's my Rotary Club that I belong to in Carson City. It's the Carson City Sunset Rotary Club, along with Let 'em Run, Lacey J. Dalton. And we're going to have...
Hi, Gina.
Hi, Lacey. How are you?
I'm great. Welcome to the show. Thank you for your patience. We are so happy to hear from you, and I'm so excited about this event we're doing.
Oh, I am too. I just can't wait. It's going to be a wonderful Santa Maria-style barbecue, and it's going to take place on Saturday, June 13th from 11 in the morning till 5 at night. And it's out in Dayton at 5 Pinecone Road. And that's just right across from the Pioneer Crossing Casino and Shopping Center.
You know, Gina, I wanted to talk to you about that. I saw that on some of the things that you were putting out, and I think if we say across from it, we may have people looking across the street in the park. It's actually sort of adjacent to the Pioneer Crossing Casino. It's just on the same side of the street as the Pioneer Crossing Casino and that big shopping center, and it is just an eighth of a block toward Dayton on the same side of the street. So it's right there, and I think we better make that clear because there is area that people could run around in for quite a while across the street in that park and not find the event. I don't think they'll have trouble finding our event, though, because if we are fortunate enough to find the gigantic teepee that we are hoping to have for the event, I think people will be able to be seeing that teepee for a few days before the event and know right where things are. What do you say about that, Gina?
Oh, absolutely. I think the teepee is going to be just a great thing for people to keep their eyes open to spot. We'll also have banners out there on the back of the Dayton Medical Building and the marquee at Pioneer Crossing. We'll have all of our information as well. And I'm just really excited about it because I have to talk about our entertainment just for a minute. And of course, we'll have the world famous Lacey J. Dalton and Dale Poney. And
Never heard of them.
You're fired, Dee.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Dee has just figured out a very, very creative way to tender his resignation.
I got it.
I'm sorry to interrupt
Message
you, Gina.
received.
I need to shut up. You talk because this is wonderful.
Okay, thanks. Anyway, we also have in our entertainment area singer-songwriter Richard Aloyan,
Ooh.
Steve Wade. We are also lucky enough to have Elmer Atlukin and Dr. Dave Kempany, and they are going to be doing the Native American drums. They'll do a Native American prayer. We'll have wild horse demonstrations, pony rides, face painting, and a silent auction with some great prizes. And can I just talk about the food real quick, too?
You know, with me, you can always talk about the food. I think our listeners, a lot of our listeners are foodies as well. So what in the heck is a Santa Maria barbecue, and what does that consist of?
Well, a Santa Maria style barbecue is a particular kind of barbecue, and I think it has more to do with the sauce that's used.
Oh.
I believe it's kind of a salsa, a spicy salsa sauce, and we are going to have that on tri-tip, barbecued chicken, hot dogs. We're going to have cowboy beans. We're going to have salad, garlic bread, and of course we'll have beer and wine and cocktails, and our famous Sunset Rotary Bloody Marys, soft drinks, and water. Yes, and
it will definitely be a party.
I'm sorry?
I said it will definitely be a party.
Oh, it definitely.
Time and again, your hillbillies and your Indians get together and have a shindig, and this is going to be it. And then we got the Santa Maria people with their barbecue sauce.
I'm telling you, I'm just getting hungry and excited just talking about all this.
Gina, I cannot thank you enough for calling in. Now, if we want to get tickets to this thing, how do we get tickets? Do we need tickets? And if we do, where do we get them? And do you have is there a price that we can give over the air so people will know what to expect?
Absolutely, and these are great prices. It's $25 for adults. Now, this is your food and your ticket into the show. $20 for seniors and our veterans, and $10 for kids 5 to 12, and it's free for kids 5 and under.
Oh, that is so wonderful. We have so many lovely families down in Dayton, and so those of you out there with little kids, if they're 5 and under, bring them, and we'll feed them for free.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, and it's a real family affair. But to get tickets, there's 3 different ways. You can, first of all, go to www.eventbrite, and that's eventbrite.com. You can also call 775-285-7358, and you can also go on our Sunset Rotary Club website, which is www.sunsetrotaryclub.com. So those are the ways that you can purchase tickets. We also will be selling some tickets the day of the event. And again, that's Saturday, June 13th from 11 to 5.
So, Gina, if they, like most people these days, if they show up to buy tickets at the event, where do they go to buy these tickets? Is there going to be a ticket little tent or something, or do you have a location yet where those tickets will be available for walk-up visitors?
Well, as soon as you walk right up to the event, we'll have a ticket counter there for sales. And so,
okay.
And we'll have little wristbands. Everybody will have wristbands, and that helps get them into the show once they finish their Santa Maria style barbecue.
That is wonderful, Gina. And the other thing that we're also going to have there will be the Wild Horse groups will have booths there, and they will be offering wonderful T-shirts and caps and visors and bumper stickers and whatever, and all the money that is raised there goes to feed and take care of wild horses. And Elmer Atlukin and Dave Kempinen, the Native American gentlemen who are going to be there for the show also make beautiful, handmade, authentic American Indian artifacts, and they are absolutely beautiful. Yes, Elmer will be playing his flute, and he makes flutes as well.
That's right.
So
That's right.
yeah, so we should be having lots of wonderful music and a great time. That's June 13th at Dayton, right next to the Pioneer Crossing Casino. An easy thing to find just outside of Dayton on the way to Stagecoach.
That's right. It's very easy to find. Can't miss it.
Gina, thank you so much for all of your time. We'll do this again a couple more times before the event starts. Thank you so much for calling in today.
Sounds great. All right. Thanks, Dee, and thanks, Lacey. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Gina.
And there's some other things that are coming up. There's the Stand Up for Horses. We'll tell you about a little bit later. A bunch of comedians are getting together, and all that money goes to help feed the horses.
I got my tickets.
And I have two. So I know people. I got 2 tickets.
You can bring a date.
Oh, that I can.
Yeah.
Hey, Wild Horse...
Or Carl the dog.
Yeah. I don't know. There wouldn't be much hope for me get any lunch if Carl were there.
Well, that is true.
Carl the dog would find his way around. He'd make good friends that day.
He did such a good job with your hair this morning.
Oh, my word. Wild Horse Fine Art Show, July 24th, 25th, and 26th. San Rafael Park, downtown Reno, for information. Not only can you call Carol, but you can talk to her here in just a second because she's live in the studio. This is also a scheduled event on the Reno Art Town calendar. So that's very nice as well. Yeah. But, Carol, I'm going to introduce you to Lacey like you've never met. Anyway, tell us more about the upcoming event, if you would, please.
Thank you, Dee. I am so excited to share the Nevada Mustang Fine Art Show and fundraiser celebration featuring everything Mustang by local artists, including the professional and amateur photographers, mixed media displays, education, movies, novels, themed music and entertainment, celebrities, poetry, jewelry, trainers, successful adoption stories, family fun, interactive art projects, and silent auction benefiting Wainema Ranch Wild Horse Sanctuary, safe haven for over 120 Virginia Range Mustangs rescued via the Hidden Valley Wild Horse Protection Fund, and home to 4 successfully adopted BLM Mustangs. We're also doing the VIP reception and tribute to Lacey J. Dalton, the co-founder and executive director, Let 'em Run Foundation, recording artist, singer, songwriter. Plus, meet Mustang friends and advocates while enjoying delicious appetizers and beverages with live entertainment throughout the evening on July 24th.
And they can get more information on this by calling or going to...
You can call me directly at area code 775-843-3900. You can email me for more information at nevadamustangartshow@gmail.com, and Nevada is completely spelled out. Additionally, we have a Facebook page under the Nevada Mustang Fine Art Show and Fundraiser Celebration.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is, and I heard a rumor. Now, as a foodie, I'm always interested in the food, and I have heard that men wielding fire are going to be present and doing some of the food there. Is that the truth?
That is
rumor?
the truth.
Is it?
Yes, thank you for mentioning that, Lacey. We are so thrilled to have men wielding fire providing the complete hors d'oeuvres and dining opportunity during this tribute to you.
Well, we'll all be there for that, for sure.
The cost on that's going to be $25 per person for the VIP reception, and for additional information, please contact me for remaining details.
Very, very exciting.
I know. Is she smooth? Is she slick? She's also very beautiful. You look very, very pretty today.
I love you, Lacey. Thank you.
You just look fabulous.
Thank you.
We love
You
our
do too.
Carol Nicholson.
Yes, you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I had to deal with Carl the dog this morning.
You had to deal with Carl.
Well, my hair doesn't look quite as awful as yours, but trust me, he has.
And then they show up with cameras today.
Carl has his way with us.
Where is Carl?
Carl lives at my house. Carl is a rescue dog. He had 2.5 minutes to live when we rescued him from the pound in Burbank.
God bless you.
He had been in a pound his entire life. And they called me and said, we have this dog that's been in a pound its entire life. I thought, a year-old dog that's been in pound for this should be fun. Well, let me tell you, Carl is going to have his own Facebook. Carl is actually rather famous, so we do talk about Carl a lot, and one day we'll probably even bring him into the show. And it's too bad he's not here today because we're filming today. We could have further the legend of Carl the dog.
Yeah, I look forward to meeting him.
There has been a song written about him and performed.
Two
part of
songs.
the Christmas show.
Two songs.
Two.
I used to have a couch. It looked nice in my house. That's before I got Carl the dog. I had some window shades. They were designer made. That's before I got Carl the dog, etc., etc., etc. That was the first one. And then we had Carl the Christmas dog. So Carl is gaining his own fan club, and here I am rattling away when we have somebody waiting on the phone line to talk.
He can open all the Christmas gifts, the wrappers and bows, without ever touching a gift itself.
Wow.
Very talented dog. He cleared out the Christmas tree last December.
Not only that, and when we walked into the living room, there were 50-cent sized pieces of every Christmas wrap.
We should have that on
it was
video.
It was like a foot deep.
He can open a door, and he's working on his talents in picking a lock. That I'm not kidding you about. It's the smartest dog I've ever met.
Dee, introduce our patient guest here.
Julie, Crowley, Texas. Thank you so much for hanging in there as long as you have. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, how are you today?
We're great. Are you comatose from waiting yet? Julie, thank you for calling in. It's great to hear from Julie Keller from Crowley, Texas. Julie has a fabulous project. And for our new listeners, Julie, you are a regular on our show. Would you please just tell people what it is you're doing for us all the way from Texas, what you're doing for our Nevadas folks?
Well, Lacey, this week I'm in Colfax, California on vacation visiting my son.
Really? And I'll bet it is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful over there right now, isn't it?
It is, and we just keep going on nature walks around the lake, and the pine trees touch the sky. I got to tell you, it feels good to regroup in nature and just get back to simple and non-stressful. I'm between summer school and my semester ended, so I'm just having a little R&R. But what I will be back to work on Monday, I get back Saturday, I'll be back to work on Monday, is my Streeter Light Wild Animal Highway Warning Reflector System. And that's a reflector system designed to keep all wildlife off the highway from dusk to dawn when 78 to 95% of all animal strikes happen. They tested them on wild horses out in Dayton on Highway 50 East. They worked fabulously, but they took them down to widen the highway and did not put them back up because they inadvertently got destroyed. But now they're striking animals again like crazy. So I came back and lobbied to get the reflectors put back up.
I'm so excited that you're doing that, Julie. I don't think I ever drive down the highway and see an animal on the side of the road that's been hit by a car that a knife doesn't go through my heart. It never ends. Every time I see it, I feel the same thing. And I've prayed for years for a solution, and this really appears to be
the solution.
It appears to be the solution. Streeter lights, they're very reflective. Can you tell our audience a little bit, just quickly, how they work, what happens, and how these white lights work?
They're about 7-8 inches high, and I would say about 3 inches wide, and they're like a triangular thing. They're made out of Swarovski crystals, and they're placed on a pole about 25 feet offset of the highway's edge or the end of the grass. They're far enough back, but when you're approaching them and your headlights are on, it creates a strobe-like effect horizontally and vertically that keep the animals from entering the highway. And how they're installed is there's one on one side of the highway, and the distance across the highway and down the highway is the next one. So they're straddled along the highway. They're not just a bunch of them side by side all the way down the highway.
Julie, question. If I may ask you a question, are these lights much more effective at night because of the car headlights? I know in a lot of places in Nevada, and a lot of folks like me, I drive with my headlights on all the time, just so that I'm more visible to other cars, even in the daylight. Do these things work in the daylight?
No, they are really designed to work at night, Lacey. That's when most animal strikes happen, is at night. So
thank you.
The beautiful thing is they don't impede their natural migration, to water, and so I guess that's their biggest selling point for me is I like them to be able to go ahead and migrate on through. And the fencing, deer jump fencing, you would have to put up 8-9 foot high fencing all the way down. And in some areas it is wise to have fencing for the horses. But there's always going to be problems with end runs and stuff like that. So the reflectors can be a backup solution.
I think it's absolutely fabulous. They're really affordable. There is a little, I know we have just a little time left here to talk with you, Julie. So please, if you wouldn't mind, please give us your information before you get off the air with us, and let people know how to get in touch with you and how they may be able to help you influence our legislators to get this project back, or get these street lights back on the roads to protect our wild animals.
Well, my name is Julie Keller, Keller, and it's Streeter, Streiter Corporation, and that's streeter-light-corporation.com. And my phone number is 775-830-7739. And I did come and lobby for a week. Every single legislator in Nevada knows about the reflectors. They know who I am, and they are aware that there is a solution. So you just contact any of your legislators and tell them that you're for this. As a matter of fact, I hand-wrote them thank you cards thanking them for giving me the opportunity because they were so receptive. And I'm also going to send them another flyer, so I've inundated them so they know.
Julie, is there any movement towards some sort of a petition that we could all do online?
That's a fabulous idea, Lacey. We need to do that.
I think that's easier for people. People are so busy. I know in my day I hardly have time to stop and do anything, but I could sign an internet petition, and I really think at this point, because they're inclined to want to do this but a little bit worried about maintenance of it, I think a petition might be in order, and I think it's such a good project. If that would work for you, it would be great. Julie, I'm sorry we're running out of time, and we've got another caller online waiting. We've got so we'll have to jump now, but we hope to hear from you again. Thank you.
Jessica from Hi.
Hey. Hey.
And Jessica, we want to thank you for holding as long as you have. We apologize that we only have about a minute or so because there's some in-studio guests. We want to talk more about Soraya's legacy. But in about a minute or less, could you fill us in on what you're doing if Rich doesn't take a whole wall out while we're doing it?
Instantly, and I understand some of our concerns. Mostly, Lacey, I'm going to get to your point where as advocates we need to get the word out a little bit more. So that's what I'm working on really diligently right now, and I want to be able to share my website with others. So if they have their thoughts that they can't put across, they can simply just share a link or two on some of our other websites, and it describes the stories, it gives pictures, does that kind of thing. So hay.org, HAAY.org. I will be posting notes, not in detail of these Mustang Matters, but the basic notes. So when people have their contacts, Palomino, Julie Keller, Willis Lamb, all the rest, we have our contacts to immediately go to, and that's what I'm putting under hay.org/news.mustangmatters.us. And just simply go to the hay.org website, and you can see the drop-downs, the home, the news, the directory, or something like this, and it'll hopefully be self-explanatory. And then, for an example, in our directory, I've created a new one, and I would love for Palomino and others to look at this. I've created one that's called an emergency collaboration, and it's all of our big heavy hitters that are out there saving lives and doing what they do. And I'm just really trying to help create so others, the advocates, have a tool also to share.
Great project, Jessica.
Excellent.
Absolutely great. Wow. Thank you so very much. Jessica, we are so happy to have you call in, and please call in anytime. What you're doing is so important to us, and we're going to have to leave you now because we have some in-studio guests that we just have a few minutes to give some time to. Dee?
Sarai's Legacy, a true story, being filmed right here in northern Nevada, at least this portion of it. I'm going to go to Tom first. Tom, if you would, tell us about it, and we can move around to Julie and squeeze everybody in here in the last 2.5 minutes.
Thank you. I'm up here lending support to Julie and to Jim, and we're sort of on top of the reel now, and it's going to be in the editing phase for the next several weeks. And it's a tribute to you, Lacey J., because the core story of Saraya's Legacy involves a very young woman and her battle to save horses from slaughter in a very specific context situation. And she's a woman warrior all her own in the wake of all the work you've done over the years. And Julie's teaming up, and it's another project. Hopefully it's going to crystallize and help put another shoulder to the wheel for all the hard work and stuff you've done over the years. And I just want to thank you, because I grew up on a ranch in West Texas, and I've been bucked off, and I'm just a stove-up, broken-down old cowboy now.
Hardly.
But I remember all my horses. They were kind of half-wild. But I tell you, it wasn't up till I got up here to Nevada that I really saw wild horses out there in the wild. And I just want to share that with you, and thank you for allowing me to be here.
Tom, thank you so much for coming back to the show. We really appreciate your welcome anytime, and thank you so much for helping with this project, the Saraya project, which I'm very excited to talk about. Jim?
Yeah, Tom, it's a real blessing, and it's really been a pleasure to have you with our family, and we look forward to your continued involvement with our family as we make the feature film. And you said that beautifully, Tom. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you for your kind words. And with me, I may be one of the figureheads, the bow ornaments, but there are so many soldiers in the field. We have some very powerful warriors and some very good warriors right now. And I would like to think that you are now amongst them, and I believe you are. And, of course, we have Carol Nicholson, and she is also one of our fine wild horse warriors. And I think we have just about enough time for you to tell. We have about 1 minute, so make it very, very snappy, or Craig will have your head, really.
Thank you, Lacey. I appreciate your kind words also. I wanted to confirm the current artists. We have national recognized photographer Diane McAllister with local Mustang photographers Miss Diane Babel, Miss Ellen Holcomb, exclusive metal Mustang sculptures by Robbie St. Clair, and a life-size metal stallion display from the Reno business Meccano Home and Garden Decor, Midtown Reno. We have pastel artist Mary Dibble, Terry Farley, author and honored by the Nevada Writers Hall of Fame. This is just a preview of the artists for the Nevada Mustang Fine Art Show and fundraiser celebration, Friday, July 24th through Sunday, July 26th.
On behalf of Lacey J. Dalton, we want to thank all of our guests today, and realize that with all the radio stations out there that are available to you, you chose us, and we'll never, ever take you for granted. Remember, keep it simple and keep them wild. We'll talk again next week.